Hobby positivity is full steam ahead. Prices for some cards are going up. Card Collector 2 appear to have a nice flip lately. We will touch on some cards from each sport in the video today. There has been tons of juicy CGC grading drama lately, most of it on the comic book and TCG side of their business. Should sports card collectors be concerned? The answer may surprise you. We don't talk about Leaf trading cards very often on this channel, and there may be good reason for it. What did they do lately that left some scratching their head? And it's only been a week and we have our first CardsHQ controversy. The reviews are in for Atlanta's newest and hottest card shop, or are they? Stay tuned for that and much more on this edition of Sports Card Radio.
And I think in many ways, CardsHQ is the future of retail in America.
Okay, we've got positive vibes all across the sports card world. You have seemingly every influencer doing a shop tour of Jeff's new spot in Atlanta.
This is really in some ways like an art store, an art shop.
And speaking of nice things, tons of big sales of sports cards recently. Let's touch on some cards from all the major sports and wrestling. 2022 Panini Prism, black. 1/1 autograph of Brock Purdy. $16,000 was the final price the other night. I think it's a good time to move Purdy. I think some people around the league can't figure out if Purdy is the second coming of Joe Montana or if he's more like the 7th round quarterback where he was drafted. This weekend will be a big week for Purdy cards and their values. I would certainly take some risk off the table and sell some if I had any.
I hope that what we're going to do is special and unique and successful enough that other types of retailers in other industries study it.
I love cards like this. Not that I would really buy one, but I do really like that someone took a $174 card, had access to these players on the card somehow, got them to sign it, and turned it into a $7,700 card. Adding value to cards, whether it's through grading them or getting them signed. We love the hustle over here at Sports Card Radio. Hustle. Speaking of hustle, this Travis Kelce autograph sold for $1,100 on Probstein the other night. Hobby Hero Card Collector 2 showed himself purchasing this exact same card at the Xena Card Show just 3 weeks earlier for only $500. So appeared to be a nice flip for Card Collector 2, but on a cautionary note, we do hope if Card Collector 2 is using third parties as business partners that it goes better than his deal with Mark's Cards.
With me?
Here is a 2012 Panini National Treasures Kobe Bryant autograph that sold for $4,000 the other night. We bought 6 Kobe Bryant autographs last year, and compared to what you guys pay for people who've never done anything in the league, I think Kobe's underpriced. Wouldn't shock me if we pick up another 5 to 10 Kobe autographs this year as well. 2015 Upper Deck Young Guns, Connor McDavid PSA 10 sold for $3,000 the other night. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but I do remember selling these raw for $100 back when Upper Deck E-Pack had these boxes. So I wish I still had some, that's for sure.
Any type of retailer, I would love them to look at what we're doing and say, why aren't we selling from our aisles?
I did bid on this card the other night, 2023 Panini Select WWE Black Prism 1/1 of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ended for $2,600. I did want to get it for under $2,000. I think long-term this is worth good money.
4 times.
And the only person in this hobby besides Jeff Wilson, you better not say anything bad about, is Shohei Ohtani. Despite getting hurt and not being able to pitch all of next season, his cards continue to climb since he signed with the Dodgers in the offseason.
Bruce.
Here is his 2018 Bowman Chrome rookie autograph PSA 10 that sold for $13,000 the other night. These are up from $11,000 just a few months ago.
But I'm telling you, I think we're going to do something really special at CardsHQ that is going to be looked at and studied by people in other industries.
There is tons of drama surrounding CGC Grading lately. Most of it involves their comic book side of the business. Last week, CGC sued 2 former employees who stole comic books sent in by customers. Then they would print their own labels, and then they would sell the comics for a profit on eBay. 3 days after filing that lawsuit, CGC was back in court with another one. This time they sued 2 comic book dealers who would crack and swap out comic books for inferior ones and then dupe CGC into reholdering them.
To put in there.
And that's just the beginning of the drama at CGC. As documented by Rattle Pokemon, a sports card trimmer named Sean Bassick, who is friends with none other than Evan Mathis, has been torturing the gaming card world and is running scam after scam using CGC. CGC will break their own rules and grade sheet cut cards for Bassick. CGC promotes Bassick's crappy mystery boxes. And it was also discovered the grading company gave preferential treatment to Bassick by letting him know they were changing their grading standards so he could exploit it for profit. Bassick is a known scammer. He's banned on Whatnot, and he's believed to be banned from grading at PSA.
I'm Joe Orlando.
So should the sports card world worry about CGC? Yes and no. Until the controversy spills over to the sports side, I'd try to not hold it against them. For example, PSA is the biggest coin authenticator. If they graded a bunch of fake coins, I doubt that would slow down their sports card business. And this might come as a shock, as I rarely ever say this on this channel. But there are employees that I like over at CGC, and I think they do a good job.
Sports Card Radio, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Andy Broom, who is their vice president, is really knowledgeable about vintage sports cards.
That's not content.
One of the people who works in their marketing department, Susan, she helped usher in tons of new collectors during the sports card boom.
Ben Simmons.
When she worked at Topps. If you saw how much money Topps spent every day marketing to new and returning collectors in 2018 and 2019, the boom of 2020 wasn't really that surprising.
Star stock.
In my opinion, all the grading companies are the same. Some are just better at marketing and branding than others. PSA is the oldest and most well-known brand. Cards in their holders sell for the most money. CGC has done a good job sponsoring influencers who say nice things about them. BGS is a joke and has nobody who is the public face of that company, so they're obviously fallen off during the last few years. And somebody like HGA and TAG are trying to do something that nobody actually wants. People don't want accurately graded cards using AI. People want to send in cards and get tens. So any scandal at CGC on the comic book side of their business won't impact the sports card side, in my opinion. Grading companies can power through any mistake and controversy as long as they have good branding, good marketing, and pass out enough tens to keep you guys coming back for more.
All of that with the rack boxes.
We already have controversy in Atlanta, home of Jeff Wilson's new card shop, CardsHQ, which according to him is the future of retail in America.
And I think in many ways, CardsHQ is the future of retail in America.
Whether or not it is or isn't doesn't really matter to me, but what does matter to some retail businesses are the reviews they do get online. And after it was discovered that Jeff left a Google review for his own store days before it even opened, the floodgates then opened for other people to leave a bunch of one-star reviews for CardsHQ. If you thought we hated Jeff Wilson, you should have seen some of the reviews left for CardsHQ.
That's drama.
Most of those reviews have been taken down and many new 5-star reviews have been added in its place. One emailer to Sports Card Radio wrote, "It's very weird. Within the last 24 hours, absolutely loads of positive reviews have suddenly been appearing on Jeff Wilson's CardsHQ Google reviews. Doubt they would have had that many customers in the shop within the last 24 hours. Maybe Jeff is begging his friends to post positive reviews."
You are not the person that I have ever thought about suing.
This is something you have to worry about when you're running a card store or any retail-facing business. The negative reviews you get on Google, Yelp, etc. It's different than running a YouTube channel. When people say they hate Sports Card Radio, for example,
I want to say this.
it actually likely drives viewers to the channel. People like watching a train wreck. People love watching drama.
That's not content.
That's actually a mistake most content creators make. They think everybody has to love them, and they think every comment has to be positive. But with a retail business, it's a little different. Negative reviews are fires you might have to put out. I think locally, the negative reviews could end up hurting a retail business like CardsHQ.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, when you open a business and say it's going to be the future of retail in America, I think it's fair for others to scrutinize that business even publicly. In fact, Jeff probably exposed himself to criticism by making such bold statements before the business even opened.
CardsHQ is the future of retail in America.
Jeff and CardsHQ decided to set the bar very, very high. If the shop was built and even spoken about in a more humble way prior to opening, I may be more sympathetic to the negative reviews they were bombarded with. Jeff Wilson says CardsHQ will inspire other retail businesses to study its success. Never in my 30 years in this hobby have I seen somebody open a hobby shop and say so many ambitious things before they even sold a card. That type of confidence plays well on YouTube. Having 50% of the people who watch your videos hate your content can actually make you quite successful. It's different in retail, in my opinion. Haters aren't going to come in and spend money with you. CardsHQ should dial down the rhetoric that it will be the greatest retail business to ever exist. Actually spend a few years proving it before you actually say it.
Had I waited, who knows what would have happened?
And our final topic, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I had to mention it on the channel. You may not know this, but I've probably sold more parking passes than anybody in this entire industry. So when I saw that Leaf put a cut Ozzy Osbourne parking pass into one of their products, it certainly made me chuckle. None of these card companies give a shit about you. We've been saying that for over a decade over here at Sports Card Radio. We've been proven right time after time. And Thursday will be time for another live stream. Join us at 5:30 Pacific time for another fun night talking about sports cards, and we will see you then.
Fleer, fleer, fleer.